Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com. You're listening to Mornings of Lone Star here on irlonestar.com worldwide and Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1 Mornings with Lone Star. If you're hearing my voice, that means we're live on our YouTube and Facebook channel as well because we have a special guest in the studio. We have Scott Harper. He's the president of the Conroe Lake Conroe Chamber of Commerce. But before we get to him, happy opening day. And I'm ready to watch some baseball at 3:10. I've already canceled everything. And it's going to be a nice little break during the day to watch opening day. Scott, are you going to watch the game?
I am probably going to listen to the game.
Yeah?
So we got a ribbon cutting this afternoon, so I've got to – maybe they'll have it on. I don't know. So I might be able to do both at the same time.
You know, I had this weird thought of the day they stop broadcasting baseball on the radio because I feel like it's going to come because no one's going for that job anymore.
Yeah.
So that famous announcer from U of H retired, and that's what got me thinking about it. Watching the Cougar basketball, I was like, if that guy's retiring, who's gonna be this guy in 60 years?
Yeah,
like will that guy even exist, or would it just be a combination of they're broadcasting on TV, they'll just rebroadcast that for audio? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting point because I know the longtime Alabama broadcaster for Alabama football stepped down as well, and so
who's taking over that?
Yeah, because it's kind of a lost art. Those old school guys telling stories, and when I go to football games, go to my alma mater, and we've traveled around to see.
Is that Missouri? I feel like it's Missouri.
Missouri, Southern Miss.
Southern Miss.
Right colors. She got the right colors, black and gold.
Well, When I see you on social media, you're supporting like 20 different teams, okay, Scott? So I don't really know when you say alma mater.
I only support 3 because 2 my money goes to,
yeah,
and the other one I went to. But it's interesting though when you go to the older generation, they'll go to the live games, but they're listening to the radio call. Those people still wear the older. They still
a little earpiece.
They're still listening to the old radio call because they just that voice that's the voice of. And so it'll be interesting to see how that changes.
And now everyone, how many radio announcers last year got in trouble for saying something stupid?
Yeah,
it's
more than one.
World.
It's different, yeah. And the fact that Saturday Night Live can still do what they do because
Yeah.
people expect it, and they push the envelope, which I think it.
Well, I think when the athletic announcer, the Oakland athletic announcer, got in trouble, I was thinking to myself, I was like, was anyone really even listening?
Yeah.
The diehards were. I doubt they didn't. I doubt they cared.
Well, and it's the hot mic issue sometimes too. They think they're off the air, but they're really not. Somebody's always listening.
Oh, yeah, you didn't know that. So speaking of always listening, you got some big stuff going on at the chamber.
Yeah,
because you were listening to the community. Look at that. I tied it in. That was beautiful.
That was good.
So the reason you're here today visiting us is you guys are merging with the Montgomery Chamber, or Montgomery Area Chamber. I think that's what it's officially called.
Yeah.
And merging is exactly what it is. It's like you guys are combining forces, and you're going to better serve the community, right?
Yeah, I think it's a trend that's happening with a lot of small chambers across the country. I go to Institute for Organizational Management, which is a designation that chamber professionals strive to do, and I did that in my first tenure at the chamber. But this last couple of years, I've been going back as a class advisor, sitting in on different focus groups, and one of them was bringing in chambers that had 500 members or less. And talking to them because that's that tipping point of actually having enough membership to provide the resources to be able to have more than one staff and have a support staff and to do more things.
You mean the Montgomery Area Chamber couldn't use AI to handle all their needs?
Well, I mean, that's going to be interesting too. Is the broadcasters going to be AI? Is the computer going to watch the game?
I think it'd be great.
Yeah,
I think it'd be great.
Interesting.
And it'd be like some British lady.
They
we
could
could change the voice. And be like, oh yeah, I want what's that?
Siri.
Bobcat. I want Bobcat.
Siri's going to be calling the games for us. But anyway, they at these focus groups, those that are smaller, the smaller ones that were less than 500, there was about 17 in this group, and close to half of them didn't know if they were going to be open by the end of the year. And the other ones were looking for some merger opportunities or being acquired by others. And so, way back before they became a chamber, I sat down with Shannon because she was, doing some research. They were a downtown business association to begin with in Montgomery. And so she's like, hey, we're gonna do this chamber thing and try to figure it out. And I said, well, you might want to think about these things because it's hard. If you can't get to this threshold, it's going to be hard to sustain. And but if I'd have seen the demographics and the growth patterns of what was projected out there, I would have rolled up my sleeves and done the same thing. However,
she works hard.
Oh, very hard. And but what happened was the growth was rooftops, not necessarily businesses. And Montgomery still struggles with the businesses of size to keep people in Montgomery because it's a transient city, because people drive into Conroe and Woodlands and the Houston.
That actually freaked me out when the mayor came in from Montgomery. It was on one of our shows, and he said like the population of Montgomery is like 4,000. And I was like, wait a second, I live in Montgomery. So I'm one of those 4,000.
Montgomery proper.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's what he was saying, like the actual, and I didn't think about that because typical Conroe and Lake Conroe, they just absorb everything, right? You know what I'm talking about? No. But no, it kind of weirded me out a little bit because I just never saw it like that. And that's the truth. That's when it comes down to taxes. It's like that's
5
the way,
square miles.
Yeah, it's not very big.
But everything around it's growing. And the interesting part of what a lot of people don't understand is Conroe's ETJ, extraterrestrial jurisdiction, which gives them the right to eventually annex out to.
Isn't that weird?
Goes all the way out to Pizza Shack.
Yeah.
Conroe's. So then if you look at the growth opportunities for Montgomery, that's only so big.
Yeah. That's why they need the HEB put in there.
Well, they're doing a feasibility study, so they're going to wait and see. But they have that land set aside to do that. At Home Depot's coming in, and we were talking about this the other day about the workforce out there. They don't have the people in that area right now, but Home Depot's going to be fine because if you go into Home Depot, you're looking at some retirees, those hobby guys that pick up a couple extra bucks, and they like helping people. There's some younger guys in the yard doing the grunt work, but majority of their employees.
We also have 105 because there's a lot of people coming from Navasota 105 side coming east to us, and I just know that because I see. Yeah.
So we went through. She fought hard for the last 9 years to make that happen, and so there was an opportunity it came out through some conversations with the Montgomery Area Chamber because they were going through a transition in their leadership, and then was able to talk to Shannon in January, and then we got to a point to where this merger and. We probably did more and more work behind the scenes than anyone will ever know. But to have our board and their board unanimously vote to do this, their membership unanimously voted to dissolve and to become part of us because there's a lot of legalities in the bylaws we had to follow.
Yeah, it's one thing to say it, and then there's one thing we got to read all this paper.
Yeah, it was a lot of late nights and on the weekends just going in and close my door just to make sure that I had to due to the pro forma of being able to do that and not just taking on their membership, but then bringing on the staff. So Shannon and Riley, who worked as the only 2 staff that they had, to come on to our staff and making sure that we're being fiscally responsible. Yeah. And one of the big things our board really they didn't push back on, but they challenged me on is just to make sure that the momentum that we had, just as our own chamber, did not hit any road bumps or do anything while. Not this to be a distraction. And I said, this is all going to be an accelerator for us. So Shannon's now going to be in a role that she's going to be community relations and being able to, she's got passions in the legislative side, initiatives that'll help workforce development in the school systems. And that's what she'll keep doing.
Let's kind of rewind a little bit and let the audience know what a chamber does. Yeah. Real simple, because you talk about different sizes of chambers, but every chamber kind of has like the core values.
Yeah, it's to promote and advocate for business.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, that's
any
our
business
mission statement.
Like it could be McDonald's, it could be Mom and Dad's Jim's Hardware. Is it Jim's Hardware? I always forget the name. Jim's Hardware over in Montgomery.
Yeah. And those are the groups that we really need to support when the big box stores move in. especially those small towns. Those have been a staple.
Yeah.
I know Brookshire Brothers, people like, when Kroger opens up,
Well,
and they've been fine. They've got a client. It's about relationships.
Everyone talks about their fried chicken.
Everything.
Everyone talks about the Brookshire
Yeah.
Brothers.
But it goes back to relationships. It goes back to what they're able to do, and that's what we do. And this isn't uncommon for us. We absorbed the Lake Conroe Chamber back in I can't remember, early in the 90s, and that's why our name still is the Lake Conroe Chamber. So Lake Conroe.
Who's
and
the
Montgomery.
stickler with that one?
Well, it's
I'm just
there
kidding.
was that's through the negotiations, and that's
Yeah.
the thing with the Montgomery is we're not changing our name, we're not changing our bylaws, but they're part of our bigger network. But what we are doing is we're opening a welcome center in Montgomery, so that will serve as kind of an arm and an extension of the chamber. But that's going to be a place that Montgomery is very prideful of their history and the birthplace of the Texas flag and all the great things they have in there with Fernland and different things, but. There's not one designated place for anyone to go to get information about that. So we're actually going to open a welcome center.
Do you know where?
And then we will, it's actually going to be right beside, for now, it'll be a temporary location right beside City Hall. There was an old antique building that's been, that they went out of business, and then they went out.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And Chris Cheatham bought that, redeveloped it, and so it's about 2,500 square feet, and we're taking half of that because there's a financial advisor on the other side, and I don't know the exact. I have the address somewhere.
No, I'm looking. I'm just
it's right going to be. We looked at places downtown. That's where we want to be, but there is a huge redevelopment plan going on downtown, and it is awesome. And so that developer and those that are involved wants us involved in that. So, and we only wanted to move once.
Yeah, I see it.
So Shannon and I went and we looked at places downtown Montgomery. We looked at this place, and when I walked in here, I was like, "This is it. This is what we need, where we need to be," because we can sit on that little piece, which is really a 9-iron away from downtown. It's not that far.
No, it's not. You're on the west side of it,
but it's really a gateway from the west side too. And we'll be in there, have some nice signage to get people in there. But watching this redevelopment happen, and then once that's done, we are part of the plan to be the focal point inside that development. Yeah. So when that is complete, 3 to 4 years from now, then we will move from our temporary location into there, which I think is a home run for everybody. Because these two little houses, I call them houses, that were in the little strip that we looked at in Montgomery now, is we'd have had too much capital to get them to a point where we felt comfortable of inviting people in. So we'll be up and ready. I know it's kind of funny because I know there's a lot of things going on with the Welcome Center here. We'll be up.
Is
and
it
ready.
A Welcome Center?
Visitor Center, whatever it's going to be downstairs.
And I'm the Welcome Center.
Yeah.
That's basically like when you come in. Everyone tries to come say hi to me, and I'm like, "Hey, I can't pay your bill here."
Yeah. And we're going to be replicating this in Willis. We already have a location in Willis, and so we'll be working with them as well. So the extension of the Lake Conroe Chamber will have a satellite office in Willis and in Montgomery.
Okay.
As their welcome centers.
There's a lot of things going on, and especially where y'all are located in Montgomery. The thing I was trying to check is make sure you're in walking distance from Bar A BQ.
It is.
So
it is
that's
amazing.
really important.
I ate there the first time that day when we were out there looking. Shannon's like, "Let's go eat there." We met one of the board members there, and just to get to know them a little bit better. And he's from Brenham Bank, and they have a presence now in Montgomery. And so we went there. I'd tried to go there before, but the line was too long. I was like, I don't have this much time.
Well, that's why they have free beer in the line.
Yeah. Well, it was lunchtime. So.
Well, that doesn't matter. I mean,
Yeah,
okay, sorry. I have a different
sometimes.
lifestyle. I'm the younger generation. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but it was really good. So I'm going to go back.
No, that place is my go-to place if I'm not cooking barbecue. So it's I was like, that's how I base my decisions on life is, we're going to move somewhere. Where's like the best restaurant? I'll live across the street from it.
Yeah.
And then that's how it works.
That's cool.
So,
yeah.
but no, this is it's kind of exciting because, in simple terms, is you're basically building a bigger business support network.
Yeah, our footprint and network grows tremendously. We shared 30% of our members anyway, And so, the number that they had, we're not getting all of that number over into our membership count, and we're getting about 70% of those because we already had the others. And I think one of the reasons the smaller chambers are starting to struggle a little bit is the fact that when all businesses are struggling, just because the price of doing business is higher. If they start having to pull back on things, or what are they getting out of their chamber? And, our chamber was able to provide a network and exposure a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And you want to attract more people into Montgomery, not continue to, just advertise and, let people know what's going on within your own hub. So this broadens that. I think it's really going to be good. This Monday, we did 3 series of Maximize Your Memberships out in Montgomery. So those Montgomery members that weren't a member of both were able to come in and listen to what their new membership looks like, what their new family looks like.
It's not like you double your events.
No,
and networking opportunities.
We're going to keep a couple of their marquee things. Like they have a Wednesday coffee that they do at Chick-fil-A, and we're going to keep that because that's just still gives them their own identity. But I'm hoping people from Conroe will go because some of our members live in Montgomery, but their business is here. So that'll give them an opportunity on those Wednesdays. We had our first morning mingle a couple of weeks ago at KOA, which was already scheduled to be out there. We strategically move our stuff around anyway.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be really, I think, an easy transition. And our first Fun After 5 was at Woodlands Hills last week in a downpour, and we still had over 100 people. And some of their
I was there. Yeah, I was wet.
It was awesome. It was a
good
time.
That was the worst decision of my life in the sense if I didn't grab my umbrella. No, I don't know. No, not going to there. I meant. So I just got a truck, and I was like, you know what? I'll transfer everything from my other car later, right? I always put it off.
Later. It's always
and
tomorrow.
Then I pull up, and it's raining. I'm like, oh, I forgot my umbrella. It's still in my other car, and now I have to walk to this place and look like an idiot. And I like the looks of everyone. Everyone's so nice. They're like, oh, you're so wet.
Yes. Oh, yeah. We did talk about you being the guy that was on the run there for a little while. That's good. Cody's always up on the
I love it.
Things.
And I guess that's what's kind of interesting because in my mind, like there's so many opportunities in Montgomery, so many opportunities in Willis, and so many opportunities in Conroe with the growth, and it's only going to get bigger. And then and I guess what people's perception isn't like you're taking over. It's more of it's like this is how we get stronger as a community.
Oh, absolutely. I think one of the articles of, I think it was in the Chronicle that took the press release out and called us for some backup information when they ran the article was, as Montgomery County continues to grow, local chambers combine to join forces to keep up with the growth, and that's exactly. Probably one of the best ways it could happen. It wasn't a takeover. It wasn't a they're going to close their doors tomorrow. It was, hey, this makes best business sense for both entities.
Yeah.
And it also, being a small chamber and coming from small nonprofits in the past, having to chase invoices to make sure you make payroll and doing those things, especially when in the past they had some huge events that are no longer a part of their when you lose 50% of your revenue stream because of an event, that's the model that a lot of the smaller chambers and small nonprofits they get into. It's like, oh, we're going to do an event, we're going to do another golf tournament. And like, there's only so many golf tournaments, so many Fridays or whatever.
That's one thing I'm amazed when I meet some of the members of the chamber is how involved they are with the chamber, not just the events, but also the volunteer opportunities and things like that. And
because they get it, they understand the more they get. Because I was talking to a guy yesterday we did the ribbon cutting.
His name is Guy, by the way, not a guy. I just want to make sure the people know what we're talking about.
We were at Texas First Bank. They just did the ribbon cutting, and the gentleman was there. He's like, "Yeah, there's more information about the chamber." And I was like, "We looked at his name." I said, "I've seen your name before." He goes, "Yeah, I got it on billboards." I'm like, "So how much networking does that billboard cost?" And he's like, "Well, I get a call from time to time." I was like, "I'm sure you're spending quite a bit of money." He's like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Well, that 1 month of billboard advertising will pay for an entire year at the chamber." And I said, "I'm going to put you in front of people, and you're going to have discussions, and not hope that somebody driving 70 miles an hour by is going to click your phone or whatever." It's kind of that it's kind of a recognition thing, but is it actually driving that? And sometimes I know you've got to do that in certain instances. I said, but the chamber can get you in front of people. We have a list of benefits. I tell people all the time, you can look at these benefits later when you go home, or when you can. But what do you need? Because we can't list every business's need on a piece of paper and saying that we can help you with that. Because every business is different. Yeah. Some people need support because they're having a hard time getting their permits done and with the city, and like, who's the right person to call to get the right answer? Because sometimes the people in the field might not have the right, the best information. And that's Montgomery County as a whole, to each city. There's all kinds of the different permitting to happen. Some have had issues with the postmaster because their address has been set as a certain way, but then the postmaster says, no, that your building is a certain degree more facing this road, so your address has to be this. I'm like, so we're trying to have conversations like, this is what we were told initially. This is what all the printed material has.
So you're a Swiss Army knife, aren't you?
We try to be, yeah, because it's different for everyone. And then, like you were saying, when you're talking about from the smaller members to the bigger ones, our larger members that give us the most financial support are those that are in the community that they would be fine without the chamber. Like, they are successful, but they give back. That's their way of giving back to support others. And so when they sponsor things, we're able to.
Yeah. So I had this thought about, this is going to sound horrible, but you're talking about giving back. What's the deal with dealerships, car dealerships, and the people who own it are always in the commercial?
Yeah, most of them are. Yeah.
I always wondered that.
I think it's really about creating a relationship to show that they, who that person is, and put a name with a face.
You don't think it's like trash talking to other dealerships? Like, I have a better commercial than you. I know this is so random, but I just had this, you reminded me.
That is random. I don't think that they're calling each other out on
but there's got to be some, hangout they do, and they're like, hey, did you see my Planet Ford commercial? And it's like, I had my granddaughter on there. She's so cute. And we had a monkey. And then you're I'm talking, they're like.
Yeah, the cool thing about Montgomery County and the cool thing about Conroe is that, from the Gullos and the Buckaloos and the Weeks,
they give a lot back.
They give a lot back. They work together. I don't know if they're comparing, commercial to commercial.
I would.
They might.
I would.
That might be a secret room they meet in or something. I don't know.
I literally, we're watching the basketball games on over the weekend, and then one of the commercials came on, and I was like, I think I would have a car dealership just so I can be in the commercial. That's the only reason I would want to.
You should start that. We'll see how that goes for you.
I just want to be in the commercial. But no, a lot of even the bigger members of the chamber. When I say bigger, I mean the larger companies. They give a lot back. I know Crown Cork and Seal. They do a lot.
They do a lot.
It's a little creepy over there.
Yeah,
it's a lot of aluminum, so I don't know what they're smoking over there.
But it's one of the coolest tours that we can give, show people, and they give it back in so many different ways. We have a representative on our board. He's helping lead the young professional, Darwin, great guy. And I think that's one of the things. And as I was telling the members in Montgomery, one of the things we do, and it's not a listed benefit, but for our platinum members, which has grown from 10 members when I got here, we're right now at 30. That's our highest level membership. Just over 70% of our entire sponsorship pool of money comes from that group of people.
So do they hang out and talk trash about their commercials?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Never know. Maybe we should have a commercial challenge or something.
I think it'd be great.
But what we do is we put their logos in Community Impact. Community Impact newspaper hits every mailbox, and it's close to 78,000 and growing every day to their distribution. And so we put that in as a thank you.
Is it okay? Community Impact, if they're listening, is it AI that writes all your stuff?
No,
it's too good. It's
they
too well laid out.
They're really they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
The pictographs and all the things that they do.
Know.
But no, I'm continually giving. And it's a live person because I've met them in person.
Sure.
Yes. But yeah, they're great reporters, great leadership from Jason Culpepper. I remember when they had the Woodlands edition, and they met with me when I was at the chamber before about where like, this is what we want to do. What do we need to do? And so they chose kind of the Montgomery and Conroe area. I said, don't sleep on Willis, and so they do that as well, because they have these little niches where they say that, and that's the ones they focus on. But they do an amazing job. They're pictographs, and they put it in ways that people can understand.
That's
and
what I'm
read.
saying. Like, it's just really quick read. Like 3 pages, you'll get so much information. You feel like you know what's going on. In the
Last
area.
year we advertised. Last year was the second year consistently we had advertised for them, and we did 6 months worth of runs. We've got such great feedback and support from our platinum members that were putting their logos in. They're like, hey, it's cheaper for me to be a chamber member than advertise in there because you're putting my logo in there for me. And I'm like, yeah, I think you're welcome. But we're doing a full 12-month run this year. So we'll have, especially because we're highlighting our history.
That's your 90th. That's right.
Steve Scheffler's done an amazing job positioning us with all of our history from the last 90 years. And so there'll be some stories in there that are in between announcing our cool events that we do as well.
Well, we can pat ourselves on the back the whole time during the show how great the chamber is, right?
Yeah.
So let's let the public know you have Taste Fest going on right now.
Yep.
So the public, anyone can buy a ticket.
Yep.
And you get access to over 30 restaurants.
Yep.
And it's a little different. It's not, you can go visit these places now. And I think it's for members and then also the public.
It's $35
$35
for that, or $50 if you're a non-member. And if you just show up to the launch party, which is April 4th,
that's what I was thinking about.
5 to 8, you get your money's worth just there. It's hard to go to anywhere just individually and eat for less than $15 now. And then if you go out for dinner with people later in the year, it's averaging $20 to $25.
No, not at Chili's. Because I saw a commercial. This is like the most I love commercials during basketball, and they called out fast food restaurants on the commercial. And I was like, "Is Chili's really calling out fast food restaurants?"
Yeah,
and like, we're cheaper than a fast food restaurant.
They probably are.
I was like,
I have all those 2-for-1 special.
I know, but I'm like, do you want to brag about that? Yeah. Is that a good thing to brag about?
Yeah, well.
I don't know.
If people are counting their pennies, it might be.
But if they buy a Taste Fest, you go to Conroe.org. I have the link below in the description. But you can buy a ticket, and basically you can look up the restaurants that are participating, and it'll tell you, like, they'll give you like a chocolate cake or a slice or something.
It's appetizer. Like the crust pizzas, the one in Willis and in Lake Conroe, you get your own personal pizza. So if you just did that and didn't go to any other 28 plus restaurants, you get your money back already. But it is one of the things during
actually
COVID,
had crust for the first time yesterday.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they've been great members, and they do a lot of things to give back to the community as well. But one of the things that we like to do is, like, when COVID knocked out Taste Fest for a couple years, when we were bringing that back
because it lost
online,
its taste buds.
No,
that was a good. That was a good joke.
Yeah, we always that was pretty good. It's I think it was more about people getting close to people. Right. Yeah. But the restaurants, they struggled during that. Supply chain, staffing, all the way up through last year when, a lot of the part-time workers were still being subsidized by our lovely government. It was hard to get quality people. But when we were talking to the restaurants, they were like, hey, we would have to shut down our restaurant just to come do Taste Fest. And so we're like, you know what, why don't we drive traffic to you? And that's when we started doing that. We did the launch party to give our caterers and our distilleries that might not have a venue to be able to, so they were able to showcase what they did. And that was a couple years ago. Then last year, more and more of the restaurants wanted to do the launch party and the in-house tasting. So now it continues to grow. Like it's going to be a great event, and we're looking at. Well, I think we're at 1,200 tickets already sold. We should be, we should easily in this area sell a couple thousand. But it's now 8 weeks. You have 8 weeks to go around to try to get all the different venues, and that gives you enough time to do that. And what's happening is people are going to a restaurant they might not have tried because they didn't know about. And since they're a chamber member, they go in, they get a free appetizer, some is a free drink. But hopefully the people are staying and they're sitting down and having another drink or a meal. And that's what it's about. And then just to create that relationship and those things. And it's
available to the public. And April 4th is the launch party.
Launch party out at the convention center. And I think that's one of the things the chamber, there's things that we do, and we listed all those for the members that were joining us from the Montgomery group. And one of the questions afterwards, like, tell me something that you learned that you didn't know when you walked in here. They're like, you guys do more for the community. And it's not always about your members. I'm like, no, we're a community organization. We represent our members, but we're going to give back in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I love Taste Fest. And then you also have Lobster Fest, which is for members only.
If you like food, that's a good place for food too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much stuff going on, and I love the idea what y'all do with Taste Fest, just because it gives me a reason to go check out places and go on to the dates. Like, I don't really care about the date, but I just want to check out this place. I'll bring you along with me.
Our friends at Color Tech, who helps us with the passport, last year. That was the most that we could do on the way that we did it. So it was folding, and then one of the things we kept going back and forth with is like, man, it's kind of sucks if you're that sponsor in the middle, because you're creased. You get folded up, then molted, But this year we actually have a passport book, and so that doesn't happen. And so now we have unlimited opportunities to add more restaurants, and it's just a nice little. It's a little bit bigger than what a passport would look like. Go in your pocket, go in your purse, and then you have that for 8 weeks.
Soon it'll be on your phone.
Yeah, we've thought about that, but there's also some validity, just the capabilities of some of the restaurants. They can take that, they can stamp it and sign it just to make sure that people aren't, you only get to use it once at that restaurant.
True. And there's so many new restaurants too.
Yeah, they are.
I haven't tried all of them yet. What's the newest one you like the most?
Well, I know Spuds is in. That's if you like potatoes, they're down on 105. That's a good one.
Is it really called Spuds?
It is called Spuds.
That's awesome.
It is. It's good too, and you can put just pretty much anything you can dream on. You can put on top of that tater.
I gotta see this. So you got anything else besides potatoes?
Yeah, that'd be.
We have squash.
Oh, they have like smothered fries and stuff like that too. Like
that's still potatoes. That's still potatoes.
True. Yeah. Just different form.
That's fun. Okay. Yeah, there's my favorite new place. Of course, I don't know the name. I know the restaurant before it was Manny's Barbecue, but no, there's a Mexican restaurant there. Best fajitas in town.
Really?
Best fajitas. I haven't tried anything else.
I typically, and I know Gigi and our membership people are always looking at the restaurants coming in and inviting them to join the chamber. We've got Steve in our marketing group and all of how we're communicating, it's getting a lot of traction, and a lot of people are just calling us, and they're coming to the area and they're looking at that. But also when I go out to eat, I'm always trying to stay true to supporting the chamber members. So that's good. I help Gringos a little bit, sell the most alcohol sales in the Montgomery County the last couple months. Their margarita's pretty good.
I haven't actually been to Gringos.
Yeah.
No.
You got to get there early. Like we've gone a couple times and we've just have waited. Actually, I haven't had to wait for dinner, which a lot of people have to, but we're
Is
okay
that because
with
you're
sitting
the
at the bar.
president of the chamber?
Did you literally
just say that?
I don't have that. No, I don't do that.
I thought you did that.
I'm not the.
I
do you not know who I am, guy? That's not me.
That's why I love my name is Dick.
I think JJ does that down in the Woodlands.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, he has that nice smile, so it's hard to say no to that. So I love it. But there's so much stuff going on, and especially the summer coming up.
Yeah.
There's the lake's going to be booming.
Lake's always always busy, and one of the things that I think that's people don't understand. I mean, the lake is an economic engine for this area of people coming in from the retirement homes to the retail on the south side. But I think one of the hidden gems of what we have and that adds to the quality of life is the national forest on the north end.
Yeah,
from hiking to camping. Fishing, all the different things that go along with that. So I'm amazed how many actual fishing tournaments we do have on Lake Conroe. There's tons of them. We're hoping one day to get the big ones back, like the Texas Bass Masters. That was really cool, where they had concerts and different things. But it's a destination. I mean, we're one of the fastest growing cities in one of the fastest growing counties for a reason, and I think the chamber is seeing that growth and the momentum of that. But we're also on the other end of that is working with our local officials and SJRA and different groups. Like, are we ready for all that? Like, I think we have had to do a lot of catch up.
I don't think we have an option.
Yeah, it's like we're always going to be in catch-up mode, but how do we? And finances are tight for a lot of people, and
just start kicking out losers.
Well, that's one way, or finding a way to help them. That's what the chamber does.
All right, good recovery on that one. I like it. Well, is there anything else you want to cover about the chamber? Conroe.org. You can become a bit if you're a business or a person. Just join the chamber. Yeah,
individuals, and we have quite a few that of retired groups that individuals that have been a part of the chambers before. They come in as an individual, and they that's kind of their social time.
I felt like I needed to retire when I went to the Young Professionals Network because I'm old, and I'm like, I'm already right there. Should I just retire? Is it over? It's over.
I'm going to tell you it's not over. If you got a new vehicle, you might want to have insurance and stuff on that to keep it safe. So you might want to keep working for a little longer.
Yeah, maybe
another 5 years. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm just.
You didn't win the $1 billion lotto. Somebody did.
Well, I wouldn't tell anybody. I don't think in Texas you have to tell anybody.
Well, you wouldn't have to. You could tell though.
No, I wouldn't change for the world. I love who I am.
You know what I'm going to do when I win the lottery?
What are you going to do?
This is my plan. It's going to happen one day.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to invite everyone and anyone that thinks that they know me. And we're going to have a hell of a party.
Yeah.
Band, just everything you can think of and need out of the party. And then afterwards, I'm going to set everybody down and say, hey, there's an envelope under your seat. And everyone's going to get a $20 bill. And I'm going to say, don't you ever say that I never gave you anything.
I like it.
And don't call me, I'll call you. And then I'm just going to ride off in the sunset. And,
why do you need to ride off?
Because I don't want to be, I just want to, I'm just going to go spend my money the way I want to spend my money.
You would change your name? After that?
Maybe
mistake?
Maybe to Dutton.
Yeah, I like it. That's funny, man. I don't know what I would do if I won the lottery. I'd probably just be exactly the same, and I just would pay everything in cash.
Yeah, I'd give back. I've got some friends, I was like, hey, how much you owe on your house? Let me pay it off for you.
I wouldn't do that for a friend. You got to earn that stuff.
I got a couple friends I'd do that for.
Yeah. Then again, I'd probably go to space. That'd be fun.
Yeah, not me.
Because I don't believe it's real. It's like, prove it.
Prove it. The Texas Tech receiver that said that he didn't believe
I love
in
that
space.
kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I would spend it and invest on giving back to people.
Yeah, sure. Okay, boring.
I'd start a nonprofit for nonprofits.
You know what?
Because
I would
there's
start
a lot of
a
duplication.
competing chamber.
Would you?
Yeah, I would do that just to mess with you.
Well, bring it on.
Because that's what I did tell folks. Like, if I had money, I would do political ads that didn't make any sense, and then people would just throw people off.
Well, have you watched some of them?
I know they don't make any sense. Well, I know,
Yeah.
but it's like you're sitting there just making up stuff about people, and they're like, that guy's not even running.
It's called Facebook.
Yeah, that's true. Also to remind people, I think is it next month is voting for Conroe?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it next month though? Is it April or May?
May.
Okay. Because I know there's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on. There's and I think I hope one day that we can get to a point to where those people that are in elected positions, from city council to the commissioner's court and those type of things, that can see the light that we need to work together. We don't always have to disagree or agree, and always disagree, it seems like now, but just the way the votes go, I think some of the transparency on how some of the individuals serve on different committees and they're there and they act like they're supporting, but then when it comes down to a vote, it blindsides everybody involved. I think that we've got to be transparent and say, if you don't like something, then let's talk about it and understand why. And the vote at a city council meeting.
I like the shadow stuff.
Yeah, well, but the public doesn't.
They don't care. They say they do. They do not care.
Well, it's funny you say that because I guess they don't care as much because for as vocal as we are as a community saying that we're into politics, the voter turnout is always dismal.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They don't care.
It's going to be even worse because of just these off-date elections. So we'll see. I hope Willis has a bond issue going out. The chamber does not endorse candidates in any way, but we will promote and anything that's going to help build a better community. That's road bonds, school bonds. So we were part of the Conroe bond support. We also for Montgomery a couple of years ago, and then now we passed a resolution to support Willis as well.
When do people not support bonds? I feel like everyone always supports that stuff.
Well, Willis, their B and C last time failed, and that was the athletic facilities. I mean,
Well, that
they're
made
a 6A.
sense.
Well, not really. Have you seen the state of disrepair that they're in? Because every year they have to get it their football stadium, which they're now a 6A school, and it's not big enough. It's just not big enough.
Well, the only reason they're good is that quarterback. Now they're going to go back to being trash. So
No, I think they got that coach
I'm
up there.
kidding.
He's a good guy.
Kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. They're a very exciting team to watch. That's fun.
Yeah, that was good.
But yeah, they probably wish they had a better stadium. Because I remember, like, when I went to ACU, the stadium for that football team was the high school football team. So because Abilene had two huge high schools, but they built this thing, but that's where ACU played. And I was like, that's kind of weird. We're playing in a high school stadium, and this is a college.
Yeah. Well, and vice versa, up in Huntsville, they just opened this last football season. Opened their football stadium on campus because they've always played at Sam Houston State University.
Yeah.
Which you think that's cool, just playing in a a college stadium, but for your home. And there's a lot of traditions and different things you can't have when you're in somebody else's, when you're paying lease or whatever you have to do. But to have their stadium on campus, it provides a different atmosphere than you get, having your home stadium being at, a college facility. So it's the only time and money that we all need, and that's for, organizations to,
Got to figure leadership, and they just need to figure it out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But cool. I really enjoy the chamber. I enjoy all the events you guys do, especially for the volunteer stuff. So y'all it's not just business or networking, it's also community driven. Yep. So folks, if you are looking if you have a business or yourself, become a member today, conroe.org. Scott, always nice to have you, and congratulations on growing, and I bet the people of Montgomery should be excited.
Yeah, all the feedback.
Besides Jim's Hardware, I would not be excited because Home Depot. Really,
I think they're going to be fun. It goes back to relationships and customer service.
Well, I mean, if you ever go to Jim's, it's random. I love it.
Oh yeah,
like everything's random. There's always a person that can help you, but like
for plumbing, there's that's where I go to get my stuff because I know enough to get myself in trouble. And I'm like, hey, this is what I got, and I take in all my broken parts and like, oh, you need this, and this. I'm like, all right, and then I let them tell me what to do, and I go back and I look like I know what I'm doing. So
that's when your wife's like, "You're so smart.
Oh, I'm so smart. PVC. You're a PVC.
You know how to fix the toilet. I love it.
Exactly.
Very attractive quality in men fixing the toilet." But yeah, so folks, tomorrow I'm going to have the Montgomery Mustang Club, and they're going to be talking about their upcoming fundraiser in, I believe, April over at Papa's Ice House. Okay. So if you have a Mustang, or if you have a Ford, I imagine we're going to talk that.
I think whatever you have, if you pay or sponsor, then they'll probably let you anyway.
Well,
if it's a fundraiser.
Last time we were in, we had a discussion about the electronic vehicles, and it was really funny because I don't know what it's called, because I guess they don't call them Mustangs, they call them like E-Mox or something like that.
Oh yeah, the new
But it's but it has the logo, and he legit goes, it doesn't say the word Mustang on the car, and there's a reason. And I was like, gee, y'all really hate those cars. It's great. Those guys are so much fun. They'll be on tomorrow, I believe, around 9 or 10. I'll be posting about that. So, Scott, thank you so much for coming in. We're going to get back to the regular programming here on Mornings with Lone Star. And, we'll check you later.
Lone Star Boxer Rescue is a nonprofit organization